my desk. This is what's left over after my conversation I had yesterday with Wasky Squirrel on his channel. We did a Skype recording thing where the YouTube screen eventually is like this, and here he is, and here I am. But more importantly, we switched it so you saw his handwriting and my handwriting. And as we were writing and comparing pens and things like that, we chatted, gossiped, did whatever what is happening here, did whatever we did. My mind is distracted by what's happening here, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But what the point is that I wanted to make with this is I'll do another couple of tests today with other guinea pigs to see how well it can work. Wasky appeared pixelated where I was sharp and clear, and it may have been because of his Wi-Fi was less robust than mine somehow. So I don't quite understand how that works. He was recording it, so you would think that if he could see me clearly, why couldn't his own computer see him clearly or whatever? So there's something that we have to do to figure this out. But the point is, let's pretend that you want to have a conversation with me about pens or about drawing or about life. No, I don't know anything about life. But let's say this is you, question mark, because it might be you or you. I don't know which one. I don't want to talk to you, though, so don't worry about that. It's either you two or whatever, and I'll be here, and we can talk via Skype, and I can record it and put it on my YouTube channel. And it could be a conversation that we have about how to hold a pen, or whether you post or not, advantage that you see in posting or not posting. I'm a poster. There are many people I know that are not posters. You're imposters. I'm the real thing. I always post. Almost always post, I should say. There might be one or two examples when I don't for some reason. Sometimes there's a cap that just doesn't fit right and it falls off, so I don't post. Normally I do post. I like the extra length that gives the pen, this slight balance that it provides by adding a counterweight here, lifting the pen off the page. It also, when I put the pen down on the table, it is less likely to roll off because of the clip. And so those are some of the reasons why I post. And you might have equally valid reasons for your imposter behavior, non-posting behavior. You might want to talk about why you really love the Parker 51. And I really love it too, but you might love it for completely different reasons than I do. The conversations can be focused on one particular aspect, or it could just be random babbling. So if you're interested in having a pen chat, and then I'll have a playlist that will include these, feel free to contact me, and we can set up a time to see if this works. What you need at your end, the easiest thing for you to do at your end is we would communicate via Skype on your phone, not your computer, because the computer often if you can figure out a way to make it work where the computer has an external camera and you can aim it at your desk, it's mainly talking about, we can have our faces showing at the beginning just for introduction's sake, but it's mainly about the pen and how we write or how we draw. So if you have an external camera on your computer where you can aim it down at your desk, that would be great. Otherwise, using your phone and having it sort of on some sort of tripod selfie stick contraption that you make where you can have it aiming down at your desk, we can have fun with this. And the other thing is you broadcast or you talk to me portrait style, and I do the same. Here I'm doing it landscape style, but we do it portrait style, and then when it's side by side, we fill up the whole screen of the YouTube video. We don't have something that looks like this on the screen, which is too tiny. So portrait mode and aiming down at the desk. One of the things that there were a couple of people in Boston that I loved doing the pen thing with. One was Rob Morrison, and I really miss his being local, because he lived all of half a mile away from me, and we'd meet for dinner or beer, or at his house or my house, and we would just talk pens and trade pens and stuff. And our conversations, though mainly about pens, easily got sidetracked to talk about aspects of liking a pen that were a little off the beaten track. Though I still don't understand Rob Morrison's some of what he says about the Waterman's skipping quality. He would make a line with the Waterman and he'd say, see right there, it's skipping, and it's not skipping at all. I think what happens is it doesn't go from broad to fine in this sort of sharp quickness that most dip pen nibs of 1880 did. I think that's what he meant by skipping, though it's not. He could say sluggish quality. Maybe that's what he meant. But he can talk for hours about the length of a section on a Moore fountain pen, which is particularly on their long pens, was particularly long. And he loves that aspect of that pen. And I don't know whether anyone else, yes, you can say, look, it has a long section, but beyond that, he was able to talk about why the length of that was so much more interesting to him than a standard size. And I guess it had to do with the balance of the pen in his hand. Another person, one of my neighbors and I would go out also for beer. I think beer was part of what made this fun. So if you want to bring beer to your conversation, please do. I don't drink anymore because I had far too many beers with Rob Morrison and other people that I can't do that anymore. But this other guy and I would go out and drink a pitcher of beer or two, and we'd go to a restaurant that had paper napkins, and or we would bring our sketchbooks along. I should actually show you some of those sketchbooks because they're just filled with doodles. We'd put the sketchbook between us on the bar or the table at the bar, and he would write on his side and I'd write on my side, and we would talk about what letters of the alphabet we liked the most. And gee, I hate S's. Oh, so do I. Oh, I love S's. What's wrong with you? And it was just, again, it was babble that came out of our mouths when we weren't drinking beer that accompanied all of the fun that we were having using the pens, writing or drawing. And I miss that. I don't have that fun anymore with people, because not only are we not supposed to be hiding under our beds during this crisis, but we can't, share pens and share space, because we have to be too far apart from each other. And if I we were always swapping pens back and forth, try this one out, try that one out. And of course now to put it through the disinfectant Clorox treatment, ruins it. But we can do it this way to get some of that conversation down. As you know from watching my channel, I am not a pen historian in the way that Rob Morrison is, for example. He could look at this pen and he could say, this is from 1942 or whatever, and the cap is on the wrong pen. Yes, I know that, Rob Morrison. You don't have to tell me. But he would tell you those factoids, and those factoids are on a scale, for me, on a scale of 1 to 100. The importance of those factoids is about a 3. I just don't find that interesting. Sorry, Rob. He makes it sound interesting, actually, and so maybe he can convince me. His enthusiasm about a fact hasn't caught on yet. It's not as contagious as it might be. Some facts interest me, but most facts don't. It's more about the feel of the pen and how you write with the pen, and the line that the pen makes is more important than whether the cap is correct for the pen. So think about whether you want to be a co-star, or not a co-star, you'd be the star on my show. And again, the conversation can be about drawing, can be about what letters of the alphabet you like best. I think it's really fun. I think that's something that one misses when one sees just Wasky, or just Per Gustafson, or just S.B.E. Brown, or just single people play with their pens. It's not as interesting as the connections and the arguments that could happen between two people and how they appreciate the pens, and we end up learning things that we didn't know before. When it's just me talking, I know what I'm going to say. Often, maybe I don't know what I'm going to say. I can change my mind, as you all know. I can change my mind in the middle of a sentence. Gee, I really love this pen. And because I'll suddenly realize something about the pen that I love rather than hate. And, but most people aren't as impressionable as I am, I guess. So, what is this pen all about? So I have a confession. I broke a pen 2 days ago that I got on eBay, and I should have known better, but I didn't. I was impatient, and I didn't do a couple of tricks. And the nib, however, survived, and that's already been put in a different pen, and I'm happy with it. I was just wondering if I put it in this pen. Is this the... I don't think so. One of the things I did as I was trying to select the 5 pens to talk with Wasky Squirrel about. I realized I just have way too many pens on my desk here that are in these sort of limbo areas. And the ones that are not in the drawers, or the ones that might be on the desk itself, or in that box over there, or in that box over here, these trays over there, those are pens that I recently had used or had repaired, and they hadn't yet been classified, just put back on the shelves that they belong, or put in my box of things that I want to sell, or whatever. And I realize I do have to sort this out in my head because it's getting overwhelming. My ODD, obsessive disorder that I have, can only take so much, in which case then it becomes a problem rather than a desired chaotic feel that I like. It becomes an impediment to my functioning. So by taking half of these pens, or 3/4 of the pens that are on my desk, and putting them away, or something, I don't know what the something is, use them? No. I either will file them correctly in the drawers up here, or I will put them in my collection, which is in the other room. This will go in the drawer with other ones like it. And then one day I'll bring out that entire drawer, and I will decide which ones I can say goodbye to. And usually I end up not saying goodbye to any of them because they're all too precious to me. But this pen, for example, this one I bought at a recent pen show, and it's a Maybe Todd Swan pen of some sort. And this is a pen that I use for sketching. Now I have dozens of other pens I use for sketching, so maybe this one can go in the Swan drawer, because it's the only one of these I have. And I have lots of skylines that I use for sketching that have almost identical kinds of nibs as this one does. And if I lose a skyline, I've got dozens others. And not that I lose pens, but this pen, if I lost this one, I don't have another one. I don't have another one of these Made in England twist fill things. And that would be more sad for me than losing a skyline, which is sad enough. I'd still wear my black armband and put a black wreath on my door and draw the curtains and play funeral music for a week and a half, and my flags would be at half staff and all that other kind of stuff that I would do. But if this one got lost, I would grieve more about it. So this one could go in the Swan drawer. The problem, just between you and me, when I put pens in those drawers, those catalog drawers, I tend to completely forget about them. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to forget about you, little pen, you. Why would I want to forget that? Another thing weird about this pen is it seems longer, and the cap is way back here. Is it longer? It just has a when it's posted, it feels like it's longer than a normal. Well, it's shorter than that pen. Something weird, but I have to figure this one out. I don't have to do it. I don't have to waste your time figuring it out. But there's something about this cap that it seems like it should go down another ½ an inch, but it stops and it feels longer. Anyway, let me know if you want to be side by side, and if you're shy about showing your face, we could start the recording of the video when the cameras are facing down. So if you want to do this, let me know, and we'll exchange our information via our Skype names, and we can try it out. And we can talk for 10 minutes. We can talk for half an hour. And it doesn't have to just be once. If you have a good time and I'm having a good time and we're actually giggling or laughing out loud or otherwise learning things from each other, we can do it again. So let me know. Let's have a play date. Bye.